want to do the intro today?
Da 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 da. Oh, that's Johnny Carson. I don't remember.
Call me Carson?
No.
Get comfy. You comfy?
Sneezo Smile Hot Scotch Incorporated. Da 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 da. Okay, I don't know what that is yet. Gucci.
I got no.
Ooh, da la.
I got no
Too
watermelon.
much pecs.
Anyways, hello everyone.
Hello, everyone.
It's always a shit show when we start.
Oh, it always starts off rough.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Welcome back
Welcome.
what episode is this? Episode
From
5?
I think it is, but yeah, I haven't got that far. But yes, it's 5.
Of
From both sides. His and mine.
starring your two hosts,
Yes.
the Deanest of Coons, the Daddy-Os of
Oh,
Fashas.
Fasha Hoods. I don't know what. I got tired of Fasha thing. You know, I decided that is kind of wimpy sounded. It sounds like I'm not proud to be Fasha. But
Are you proud to be Fasha?
I am Fasha.
You know, eventually one of these days we're going to have to explain how you got your nickname.
You're going to have to tell it because I have no freaking idea how you come with Fasha. I mean, I know you've been calling it for years and years and years and years.
Even I don't really know.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's just
I think I just did
Fasha!
I did it as a joke because like everybody used dad and mom and stuff like that, so I just kind of made up my own thing, and it wasn't like something I started as a little kid. It just kind of happened.
Well, it was still as a little kid. You weren't.
I was in like middle school, I think, is when I
That's a
started
little
it.
kid. You're a young adult right now. Young adult.
Don't tell me how to live my life.
That's right.
Okay. Anyways, icebreakers. You want to start them out? You remember? Ooh. Wait,
yeah,
actually, it was your topic, so I'll let you run the topic. I'll do the icebreakers. Because he's going to run the podcast today. It's his question.
I'm not going to run
You are
going to
run this podcast.
I'm going to probably be a lot more serious than usual.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things.
The real life topics.
It's
the real talks.
In what's the word we want to use? What's it called? Her topic.
In.
I'm serious. My mind just went blank.
Yeah?
One eternity later.
Help me out. I'm not joking. My mind's. You ever done that where you get to a word, somebody says, "Oh, you remember that person's name?" And you look at them, and you're looking right at them, and you feel like a complete fool and buffoon because you cannot remember this person you've known for years and years and years. Mm-hmm. You ever done that? Mm-hmm. I did that one time, and I start talking to the person.
And the name, like you think you know the first letter or the first like chunk of it, and then you're just like,
oh my gosh.
And then you start mixing up names, and then you remember the face of the other person, and then you're like,
You know, the worst part is when you're explaining to them that you can't remember their name, and you're telling them, how people feel stupid doing that. You're explaining exactly how you're feeling, then all of a sudden, then you have to admit to them, "I'm sorry, I don't remember your name." You know how bad that feels to do that?
I just don't do
I
it.
had to do it.
I'm going to be honest, most of the times if I ever do something like that, I'm like, "Hey, bud, hey, friend, hey, dude, what's up?" And I just kind of like do that thing because there's times even...
That's probably the best way to do it
There's
there.
present day that I'll still do that, and I'm just like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey,
kind of like, yeah,
Hey,
exactly.
dude, hey, bud.
Anyways,
Yeah, that's
topic of the day, which we'll do icebreakers first like usual, but topic of the day, which he came up with, entitlement.
Thank you, entitlement. I kept thinking inertia or something. I know it sounds stupid, but I could not remember it. Entitlement.
Infatuation.
Oh, my gosh. Well, anyway, that's not what the icebreaker is. So
No, that is our topic of the day.
That is what our topic is.
But to begin with, icebreakers, which I think will be a nice move into it, is what do we in life feel most grateful for? I asked you first, though. Thing in life that you are most grateful for.
All right. When we were talking about, we did talk about this just a tiny bit. Mm-hmm. But when we were talking about, I think you could put this in a perspective of a person, place, noun type of thing, Mm-hmm. So I'm saying I'll talk about people first of all.
First of all, there's going to be a list?
No.
Okay. No. I'm like,
I'm just saying there's people and then there's going to be things.
Okay. Pick one of each if you can.
People are my kids, you and my daughter, you and Lisa. And I will be forever grateful. And I guess that's something that Father, and this kind of goes along with it. It does really, but I will be forever grateful that I have my 2 kids, and that means more to me than anything. You could go your life without. And there's a couple people I know, and I won't name names because we don't do that here. But they're from work, and he's never had kids. Him and his wife had never had kids their whole life, and they're pretty self-centered because of it. Now, I'm not saying he wouldn't be that way if he didn't have kids, because he still might have been that way. But most people, when they have kids,
it would open up a new world for you.
It does. It opens up everything, and then just all of a sudden, things you do because you want to do things for them. You want to do, and that's where your happiness comes from. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. So I'm very grateful for you and Lisa. That. When it comes to, just. That's the personal part. Okay, that's the people part. Things I'm most grateful for, I'd have to say my health, because even though it's kind of goofy at times,
rolling
with my
on
shoulder,
the edge of something,
and I'm getting older, but I'm still
and all the
in pretty
doctors
darn
think
good
he's
shape.
diabetic right now.
Yeah, diabetic. One doctor say one thing, another doctor said you just kind of whatever. Anyhow, I am eating better. I'll say that. But overall, in general, my health is really pretty darn good, and I'm very thankful for that.
Seeing some like 40 and 50-year-olds compared to a Mr. 64 now.
When you look at, I look at people that are in their 40s and 50s that are walking around with canes, or they just can't hardly walk, or they're super obese because they just didn't keep busy. They always made excuses for everything that happened to them, so they start sitting around them. It's just like in my life, I could do the same thing. Mm-hmm. And I think the older you get, when you get older, you can do that a lot, and that creates a lot of your health issues.
Yeah. Now, because you just get tired, I guess.
You're tired, and your body, your muscles start to do weird things to you, and they get lazy and relaxed, and
then you just don't want to try.
Well, I don't know, but I'm just saying. That's it, though. Even when I'm feeling sick and stuff, I still keep doing things because
all the frickin' time.
Yeah, because that keeps you active. It keeps you going. And as long as I have my health and I'm going, I'll keep that health. But, there's going to be, obviously, there'll be things that happen. Maybe a cancer, or maybe kidney failure, or maybe, your bladder goes, or whatever happens,
Maybe he just walks around with no legs.
Yeah, that could happen too. I could get hit by an accident and not have no legs. That would be a bummer. And then, so I'm super happy.
If anything like that ever happens, like I know, like we'd probably get like the attached ones, right?
Yeah, nowadays
I can't think of what they're called.
Oh yeah.
But I always kind of wondered. I know, like obviously you can do it just by lifting up your legs and stuff like that. But trying to walk with like the little crutches,
Canes?
the crutches, like under your arms.
the little ones, like
like try to walk with them if you can like balance on that. I think that would be, I don't know.
You wouldn't need them though with the new orthotics, are they called?
Yeah, no, they're really crazy nowadays.
Freaking amazing. You just strap them on and
that's
stand up. People run tracking them, and I mean they run competition. And
clarifying on that, I don't mean like I want to see somebody that's crippled walk around like that. That's not what I meant. I meant like when I was younger, when I was a kid, that's how because I didn't understand how it all worked when I was like little in elementary. That's what I always used to think, is that people would have to walk around on crutches like that. I don't know. I was just like, it was probably bad, but I always used to think it was funny.
Keep going, you're burying yourself further.
I know. I always do that.
Okay.
Anyways,
all right, your turn.
Mine, on the real side of it, I think probably the life situation that I was given, like what I was born into, I guess, would be a good way to put it, because it wasn't like a family. Like, I know we don't have the best of family, right, on some aspects, but it's a better family than some of these parents and stuff that you see around nowadays that are really like either alcoholics or smoking or kind of wasting their life away or abusive and stuff like that. And, my heart goes out to people in those situations, because I know people like that and stuff, but I was given a situation that was not that case, and it's like, yeah, everybody could have had things go better in their lives or whatever, but I was given a situation which was really good, and that would probably be the thing that I'm most grateful for, because things are things, right? And, people kind of come and go, so I don't exactly have Like for people, I would say it would be like the main people in my life right now, like you, and then like the friends that are around, and they always try to help out and support and stuff like that. Even like with Ethan and Red, always trying to help me edit and stuff like that. So, and always taking time to try to talk with me, even if they're butts sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, it kind of that's the interesting part about that is I was kind of born. My family's screwed up too, but it still was somewhat intact. That's really screwed up. But anyway, there's sometimes you go through stuff and because I gotta make this explain this just a little bit.
That goes into a lot further topic if it's what I'm thinking you're gonna say.
No, but sometimes like if things are going so good for you, you do dumb things because you want to see what it would feel like to do the other thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like I never drunk when I was a kid. I never get drunk alcohol, but there was kids a lot younger than me and everything when I went through high school and stuff that were getting in the alcohol and stuff. And everybody was saying I was a churchy kid. You know, I was a good kid and everything. I was when I was younger. Until I got into later part of high school. Anyway.
You run around with the church or the
I ran around with the preacher's boy, and boy, was that a joke. Anyhow. So I kept looking, I'm like, man, I ain't never did nothing bad. I got to go do something really raunchy or get drunk and see what that feels like. And I guess what I'm saying is you look at that and that's what you think. You just want to test out the waters and everything, and you're really not missing anything.
Just bad experiences.
Yeah, they were bad experiences, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing this? I actually like the way I was before because this is screwed up.
Yeah.
You know, but everybody does it. I think they just gotta test the water. They gotta go through a bad period to find out. That's they actually
find out how they can build themselves up better, and then find out what they like and they dislike and stuff. Because I mean, that's been, for example, I know that's kind of not on the as bad side, but with like YouTube and stuff like that, me testing out different videos and having a hard time for a while there, and then trying to fix everything that I've been doing, and the type of people that I'm around.
Yes.
No comment on that.
Yes.
Aye. But yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know. I would say the situation is probably the people that I have now, as of now, are probably my groups, like two things. So, but yeah. Any other comments?
But and a lot of the guys that's your age, guys and gals your age, they're just free to start drinking and stuff, and they go through a phase. So
and throwing money around and kind of hurting themselves in different ways, and it's
and they all think it's really cool, especially if they're in college. They think it's real cool.
It's not.
It's not.
Alcohol, the smoking. You think it's cool? Watch what it does to you in 10 years from now.
Yeah.
So.
All right. So the topic. Entitlement.
Yeah.
So the other day I'm watching.
I was going to say,
go ahead.
I want to tell this story. So I'm sitting here the other day on my computer. He comes home. He is silent, throwing stuff around, ripping his boots off, and he's kind of like is smacking stuff down on the table. I'm like, what is going on? He's like, I have a topic for you. I am heated, and we're going to talk about entitlement. I know we had our topics that we said we were going to do, but I am, and breaking.
We did have another topic because we're gonna
do aliens.
We didn't do the other video first, but so we're gonna do this one.
Aliens, but you were heated and you wanted to talk about it, and I'm
did,
like, okay.
But, the problem is I calmed down. That would have been the perfect time to do it.
Yeah, but it was like.
But
what time of the night was it? Because I think it was like 10 or 11 at night.
I
mean, we probably could have done it, but
yeah.
But give a little bit of a situation. So we talked before
anyway,
that you are a managerial role. So kind of explain, no names or anything like that, but you can kind of explain why you got heated.
There was a bunch of reasons I get heated as far as that goes, because it has a lot to do with a lot of different things. But
I just think the situation would help them understand kind of what more we're trying to aim for.
I don't know which one you're talking about exactly at the time. You probably thought of one. Anyway, my role at work is I am a manager. I manage people. Mm-hmm. So it makes you a boss, if you want to say I'm a boss. All right. But in that situation, and okay, you people are out there, they're part of a union, please do not go crazy about this, okay? But you may. That's what this is all about. So
Opinions.
there is people in unions that feel like they're entitled to a bunch of stuff and without doing a damn thing. So, yeah, see there, I used one of the curse words. Sorry.
Gotta
Anyway.
censor that now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
No, fine.
Anyhow, and it's without doing anything at all. So, but what I've found a lot in the younger generation, unfortunately, and I'm going to shoot at your direction because it seems like the kids in your generation, and they're not kids anymore, you guys are young adults now, but there seems to be a ton of entitlement, feeling of entitlement, like you owe me this, you owe me this. And that freaking drives me crazy because you get what you deserve, okay? And that's not, I'm not saying that as God, I gotta explain everything I'm saying now because it's all
struggling
coming out
hard.
wrong. All right, because I'm still, when I start to talk about it, I get frustrated. Most of the time in life, if you don't work hard, if you don't try to make a go at things, you're going to get what you work for. You're going to get the results of that, okay? So that's what I mean when I say you deserve what you get. But that's not totally true. I guess that's why I'm trying to explain it a little bit more. There's times when life doesn't go so well and things happen and people have a lot of shitty things happen to them all the time. And those things I know you can't control. And those are the situations where I say, I wish I could help that person and that person can get help from somebody else. That's what I mean by, you deserve what you get. I didn't mean that.
But then
that's what I mean by, those are situations where people need help.
Yeah.
And that's what we have things lined up to help them with.
But then the people that don't try to pick themselves up after the situations happen.
Absolutely.
And think that everybody else needs to cater to them and to help them, and because you know them or because they're your friends or because you work with them or something like that, they think just because of that type of situation that they need to get something from you, or because the company did something to them that the company owes them.
Well, let's take it back to the union, for example. All right, not all union people. Trust me, I know a lot of you guys are super hard workers, and you are, because I
mean, you're friends with quite a few.
I used to be it for 20 years. I was union before I become salary, so I understand, guys. But there's other people that are working right beside them, doing the same job and only doing half as much or whatever.
Half the effort, and not even trying. And yet he gets paid exactly what that guy that's working his butt off gets paid. That's entitlement. Where you owe me this because I worked an hour. And some of them won't even work the hour or anything. And that's what really pisses. Go ahead. I was just going to say, I like how he points out, like referring to you, I like how he points out that he's like, oh, we should have done it the other night because I'm not as heated now. Instantly just flares up. I will. I get that way because I see it. Now, I'm going to go back, get out away from the union. Sorry about that again. Can I give an example, too, to try to go on from a different perspective? So, like, for my group, like my age range and stuff like that, right, of what's going on around me right now, because there's yours where you've been in, like, a managerial role. You've been in the working under management and stuff, like, for many, many years, right? Yeah. And that's been your life for quite a while. And then whereas mine is like, I've been in school where I'm putting in all this crazy effort and stuff because like I did a lot of extracurricular stuff.
Sure.
I did honors stuff. I did all sorts of different kinds of projects and classes and things like that. And yet people were doing half the effort, and then I would see them get stuff like more. And then like the people that were doing less and acted like they deserved more and stuff like that and thought they were entitled to it. And I guess I don't get that because, like, okay, for example, I'll give a good example of trying to explain what I guess I'm saying, because I don't word things the best, and I've come to realize that is, well, I was at my community college a couple years back.
Yep.
I was in an addictions class, right? and we were working on this big old project that we had to research. Like, for mine, it was yeah, that's a whole nother thing. That's another topic reference. Oh
no, I just go ahead. I just
but
thinking.
we were working on a project, right? And it had to be
They went to the same college that I taught at. That's why I'm going.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we were working on a project, and it was a PowerPoint presentation. We had to present in front of the class, and we had to talk about whatever we were doing. And my portion of it, because we were working in groups of 4, right? My portion of it was on a plant called belladonna, Atropa belladonna, and it was talking about like the effects and stuff like that, and like not the point. Pretty much, I did like all these special color effects on the PowerPoint, all this extra research and dots and stuff. And I thought, because I was doing it kind of on the last week, and
he was going for the gold star.
Well, we had like a month to prep for it, and I had an outline, but I didn't really go into it because we had a whole bunch of other papers and exams that we had to do at the time. So I'm like, screw this, I want some time for myself. And the last week I worked on it, and I put in a whole ton of effort, but I still didn't feel like it was good enough. And then I logged in the night before to look at it was a group PowerPoint, so we could all sign in and work on stuff simultaneously. I looked at all mine. They were all really pretty and stuff. I looked at everybody else's. Not great. And we ended up getting a high grade. But
I remember, you know what? I do remember how pissed you were about that.
Because they, like, the other group members, I mean, I don't even know if they were expecting it or not, but, like, the point being is the amount of work you put in, and then they think, because they can just ride the boat of you, and that they're entitled to that good grade because, we got the good group mate or whatever.
Yes.
That's screwed. Like,
oh, boy.
I mean, they're cool people, right? But that's screwed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. But even, for example, if some people are going through some hard times, and we all do, and as a kid,
all go through bad
all
stuff.
of us do.
Yes.
I mean, there's sometimes your life
level variations, but
there's times your life shuts right down on you.
Yeah,
you know that. You know, I'm just saying.
Seen it, been partially through it.
Yeah, it's like, and it's part of life. God knows it's not. Life is not easy, you got to put a lot of effort in it. You have to, but you can't sit back and say, "Oh, well, they deserve to give me this." I think one of the things I want to just slap the Jap slap. Or, well, I don't want to use that. I'm sorry. You want to just Japanese. They may like that. That's what it meant by Jap.
That is not what I was thinking.
That's what I said. But it is.
Okay,
So,
you should have kept it as unexplained.
No, I gotta do that because
I was thinking you meant like chap, as in like
chap
stick.
slap. No, chap slap.
Like chap is in like chaps, but we're gonna
to all my Japanese friends, which I have tons and tons of.
You're
I
gonna
don't think I have
fun of by Ethan.
Oh, we will.
Ethan's gonna make fun of you because he makes fun.
Go
of
for it,
all the time.
Ethan.
No, because he does this thing all the time where he's like, "Oh, I'm not racist. I got my black friends," and
no, I think we make a mistake of doing that all the time, of thinking we can't say anything and everybody's going to get offended. Well, you know what? There's a lot of people that won't.
No.
And there is some people that are going to, that have nothing to do with that nationality, race, or anything, and they'll make an issue of it.
Yeah, most of the times, yes.
Yeah,
it's just more like.
So I
apologize
that even
for mean?
that. That's just that bad habit of saying certain things you say.
No, I was asking.
Remember, I'm 64, and to be honest with you,
thing, I have no idea what that means at all.
Well, that's back when, unfortunately, when they had internment camps and stuff.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, they would beat on the Japanese people and everything. So I'd Jap slap you. That's what that
World
meant.
War II. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's a terrible thing.
Because they took Japanese Americans and they threw them in
Exactly.
internment camps because they didn't know. History lesson there for you is they actually, this happened in the U.S. It wasn't like Nazi Germany, but we did have camps.
It in the United States.
Yeah, we did have camps. We weren't. I mean, I guess we could have been killing people.
Oh,
I know there was
sure
beatings and stuff, but yeah. But we had camps for Japanese
ethnicity.
ethnicity.
Not even prisoners of war, just because.
No, just because we weren't sure if there were people were going to be traitors. Yeah, and it was messed up.
Even though they were in the United States for
up.
years and years and years.
Yeah,
we did that to them. But it was our way of thinking we had to protect ourselves against those people that might,
could cause harm
Japan
because
or whatever.
There's no great way about doing anything.
Anyway, so
messed up history. Anyways, continue.
That's good. But that's the difference between my my generation would say crap like that and never give it a second thought.
Yeah.
You guys now are like, oh my God. And it is bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying we never thought about it.
I'm
we
not
just
freaked
said
out about it.
things.
I want to understand, I guess, and then understand why people. For me, okay, like my generation, right? I know this is on a whole different off thing, but it kind of branches into that a little bit.
Does, yeah.
So, like my generation, right? They use all these different terms and stuff, right? And like some of them are saying, I don't know if you've heard it, like the low key and high key thing. And I'm like, what am I doing? Am I freaking singing you a song or what? Because high key is supposed to be like, oh, you talk about it openly, but if it's low key, you're supposed to keep it secret, ooh, you know. And it's like, why don't you just say, you know, oh, you got to keep the secret, you know, don't talk about it much. It's like, I sound stupid. I don't know. I don't get it. Like a lot of people in like.
It's the term, like you said. Once you explain what it means.
But why use it? You sound dumb. You sound illiterate.
No, not necessarily. It's like saying that word, Jap slap. You know, now that you're explained to it, you'll probably think, oh my gosh, I don't even want to use that. That sounds terrible and horrible. It does.
But like,
now that I've explained it to you, I'll be thinking about like,
why did I use that?
Yeah, that's probably because of what we did and everything. That is kind of a pretty lousy thing to say.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean I should be, you know, thrown to the wolves because I said that, because thank God we're in the United States. I'm starting to wonder sometimes, to be honest with you.
People are...
That you can't say anything without somebody saying, he needs to be fired, he needs to be thrown to the wolves, you know?
People are
I'm
humans,
sorry, guys.
and they can learn.
It's the United States of America. And when we started doing that a long time ago, we were so wrong, because that's what freedom of the press, freedom to speak openly, that's what we have in the United States. That's what freedom's all about. So anyway, let's get off that.
Even if people mess up, they can learn from mistakes,
exactly.
Because we are human. And I think finishing last statement on that is people generally like to call each other out on stupid stuff like that all the time.
Sure.
But the point being is for us to keep trying to point fingers at everybody else but not look at our own lives and realize that we mess up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can learn from each other. That's the point.
Yep.
You know, so it's like working more as a team and as a group and trying to work together as people instead of always trying to throw each other under the bus. I think that's a culture thing that needs to end right now.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to entitlement.
I agree. All right.
My project thing, your work thing.
Yeah,
Continue.
It's not just work though. You know.
Yeah, it's not just work. It's our society around us.
Going back to school real quick on my side of it, as I was an instructor out there, some of the classes I did, and actually, let me put it this way: when I was a student out there before I became an instructor, I was taking engineering classes, and one of the things I did, I mean, I was working hard. Or if I didn't catch the subject, I'd stay over and talk to a tutor or whatever. And then I'd see when I think one of our last classes I had in an algebra class, applied algebra. I remember I felt terrible when I was done. I didn't think I did a very good job, which I did all right. I wasn't great. But I ended up getting an A out of that exam, and I'm like, what the heck happened? Because I knew I did not do as good as I should have done. She said, well, everybody else didn't do that good. They expected it, she said. And when I thought about that, and she explained a little bit more, people weren't turning in homework. I was turning in homework. Every time there was an assignment, I turned it in. And they just expected that, you know, I deserve a good grade because I'm here. Mm-hmm. Or some of them just expected because they paid for the class, you know, that they was deserving of that grade, at least a C. You know?
That's a mindset that I think needs to end as well, because if you pay for the class, you're not paying for a grade, you're paying for the knowledge. The grade is supposed to be determining how well you've, which I don't agree with the educational system, I will say that. Mm-hmm. But, and watch our first podcast, you'll hear my opinion on that. Yeah, I was just going to say,
we had a discussion already. Yeah.
The grade is supposed to determine how well you've received that knowledge. Mm-hmm. So, but that also gets into the teacher and the teachings and all sorts of stuff. I don't agree with the way that system's set up, but continue.
All right. Anyway, so that was something I noticed in school. And I still see that. And a lot of kids, they just think that they're deserving of grades that they didn't do a dang thing for, okay? Mm-hmm. So that's one. As a kid growing up in my generation, we always knew there's certain parts in your life that you did things, and you, for example, like the closer you got to driver's training time, you had to take the course. You didn't have an option to take drive. You took it, but you were thrilled to death about taking it too. It was like your license to freedom.
Right.
And I see people on your side of the fence, on your grade, your age level, not grade, age group, and they don't even want to drive in them for the God's life. I don't even understand.
It's because it's that safety bubble thing. They think that everybody else can do the thing for him, that they can drive
But there you go.
Yeah, it's the
they
entitlement.
think everybody else should drive for them. Well, he could take me to work.
And that
she
mindset,
could do this
everybody
for me.
owes. I know that's what entitlement is, but that mindset that everybody around them has to do something for them. And it's I understand if it's for example, what we're doing with the channel, right? Where we're doing group things and we're okay, we're all going to progress together. We're all going to do something together. But that mindset where everybody has to do something for me because I'm me and the world revolves around me type of thing, where I see posts about this. I'm not trying to call people out, but I kind of am. But there's posts on social media out of my friend group even that are ooh, nobody will probably come drop off food to me today. It would be great if it would be great if somebody came and dropped food off to me today or something like that, or this specific food, or it would be great if this person came and hung out with me today. And it's
it would be great if they got off their butt and made it got up early enough to make themselves some food and get it ready so they could bring it into the podcast. You do that all the time. I know you do. And then you'll sit there and eat
same thing, I cook you food and you don't freaking eat it.
I do most time. I don't take and get the egg drop soups that I usually get.
I don't make egg drop soup.
No,
I'm
you
talking
don't,
about when I make them.
I've been doing pretty good with that. And I made you some the other day too, so there. And it was pretty good. That was really good. Actually,
that was a ghost.
I ate what you didn't. I know. You understand if you see the ghost.
Yeah, watch the previous podcast and then look at the comments and you'll see what we're talking about. Anyway.
So
I had Red going for so long.
Oh God, that was hilarious. So you did finally tell him? Dang.
Yeah, he's just he looks and he's like, I'm such an idiot. And it's funny.
Okay, that'll make you go and look at the other podcast.
Yes, don't tell them. They have to figure it out.
Anyway, so going back to this thing, and in the union, I'm sorry guys, but you guys are so bad when it comes to that. Everybody gets a paycheck. This is why I was so frustrated. Everybody gets a paycheck. They pay good money. This company that I work for. Really good money.
Give me an idea, in between amount, a range for the general consensus of workers.
Well, most workers go anywhere from, I would say, I think it's 18 something an hour, all the way up to $33 an hour. Depending on what thing.
And I'm just starting to get into that range.
Yeah, it's crazy. To be honest with you, they make more money than I do.
Yeah. Well, because your salary, so you have a set amount, whereas they can go above you.
And so I could sit and rant and rave about that, but I chose to go salary from what I was.
Right.
Because I like leading people. I like helping people that way.
That's why I chose that. Changes that you think are going to be more efficient.
Right. I wanted to make change. That's exactly true. I wanted changes. I wanted good changes. And I want to be part of that to help implement those changes. But now back to what we're saying. So these guys, just because for sake of being part of the union and paying union dues, they think they deserve all this stuff. Well, that's just the union people are there to help them in case somebody's doing things wrong to them, not against rules that we have and regulations and contractual stuff. That's what they're there to support them for that, but not to give them a paycheck. The union never gave you a dime. It's still the company you work for that pays your paycheck. So when you think, well, just for the mere fact that I'm there and I'm putting 8 hours in a day, and that's the other thing, putting 8 hours in a day and working 8 hours a day is two separate things.
Yeah.
and they kind of get a kick in the butt that they think is hilarious when they can take and just be there 8 hours a day instead of working it. Mom would have kicked my little butt to death if she knew I was.
When we were in karate, if we would have messed
oh
around.
my gosh!
Even when we did mess around, I mean, unless it was a day set for messing around,
yeah.
Unless that was it, if you were messing around during karate, it was not just you got punished; everyone got punished together. So, and I think that's something. Just my opinion on that. That's something, especially for my generation, that needs to be brought back because we're so worried about. Like, for example, I know this isn't a great thing, right? It's not a great thing, and I don't agree with it. But, for example, like what they used to do in schools with the paddling and stuff, right? It's not a great thing to do. But, like, even while I was in karate, I was only in, like, the end of elementary into middle school.
All right.
And we would get beat with those swords and stuff on and off. You remember those?
Yeah.
The bamboo ones? And then also, too, we would get punished. And, I mean, it would... For that specific set, it'd be so we would get stronger, right? Because that's what we were going for.
It
so
actually was building up your muscles and your
bone knitting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and so, I don't know, just the discipline needs to come back to our culture.
That's the word you should use, discipline. Doesn't mean being beat with paddles. But
no, I'm not saying the beating with paddles, but like the point being is
I'm
the
just
discipline
helping you out
aspect.
so you don't get buried on that one.
He likes to beat children.
He wants to beat them all. They're dead. And
If
crying.
they mistake that, then they obviously don't understand the context.
Yeah,
and
but
context is very much key.
Yeah, we have a full generation of people listening here across
There was
all spectrums.
Talking about that, Pewds was wearing a hoodie, and it had some symbol that was similar to Nazi Germany symbols, and everybody was like, he's a Nazi, it's confirmed. And he's like, I don't even know what I wear half the times, and this was just a designer hoodie that I threw on one day because I didn't know what I wanted to wear, and it was just laying around. And he's like, I didn't care. I don't care what I wear most days. And I'm like, neither do I.
Well, and I guess goes right back to the same thing again, where if that's a whole nother subject. What is just and what's justice and what's not justice. They talk about in the eyes of the law, everybody's equal, right? And that's what they mean by justice being blind, because you can't see if a person's black, white, orange, green, purple, yellow. You can't see those things when you have your blinders on. And that's really what that lady with the justice is all about. She has a blindfold on. That's what that
because
meant.
It shouldn't be about color
Exactly.
or background and stuff. I mean, background if you did stupid stuff in the past, but it shouldn't be about that stuff. But, I mean, even, I don't know. That entitlement for that, I don't think a background should. I mean, I know everybody has had bad history in every group, in every type of persons. Yep. Everybody's had a bad history and stuff, but I don't think entitlement should be a thing in our culture because that's something that we cling to.
So now I got to go a little bit further into what got me stoked up that night. Okay. It wasn't nothing to do with the union.
Got to make sure we're still recording on and off too, because remember we're limited.
All right, I'll make this quick, but I like watching every once in the Judge Judy or the judges. I can't think of the other judges, but...
You are kidding me.
No, because they're the actual cases they bring in.
I know.
But I like watching it because you get to see what people are really like and what they think.
Answer me this really quick.
Go ahead.
Are you actually fired up because of the show?
I was fired up with that particular one, and that's what I was going to say.
I thought we were doing this topic because of things happening at work.
I was, but see, I was already fired up.
Oh, my gosh.
That's what it was. I was fired up with what happened at work. So then I come home, and
It has been a week.
This same thing happened on this Judge Judy show. So I don't think it was Judge Judy. It was the other gal with the red head. I can't remember her name. Anyway, I'm supposed you guys are probably yelling, yeah, this is who she is. But anyhow, so she had some guy some girl came on and bought this car. Now, the car was $1,500, okay?
Okay.
Cheap enough car, but it was a nice enough car.
It's pretty cheap for a car.
Yeah.
Well, it's very cheap for a car.
She drove it for 3 years. 3 years she drove it and never finished paying the gal off, okay?
That seems kind of messed up already.
Yeah, some things start going wrong with the car.
For $1,500
so eventually,
and she didn't pay it off?
She paid $400 against the car, I believe is what it was. So some things start going on with the car, so she eventually sold the car. So the car didn't belong to her either because she hadn't paid for it. So she sold the car. So she's arguing to the judge. She says, I don't own a car anymore, so why should I have to pay for it?
Because it was
That's
yours.
Entitlement.
That is.
To think just because you don't have it, you shouldn't have to pay for it. What did she even sell that person's? Because it wasn't totally hers. Mm-hmm. If I did that in a bank, I bought a car, a brand new car, and I say I'm tired of it. I had little problems with it, so I sold it. That bank's going to hold me accountable for it all the way to the end, and I could, that's grand theft auto,
Yeah.
So eventually, she just could not understand why the judge said that was still your responsibility. That was a debt you took on. The fact that something happened to the car later on, she had nothing to do with that. You were driving it, and 3 years down the road for you to sell it and stuff. But see, it all goes back to what I was saying. She couldn't understand that she was the entitled on this other side of it, where the other gal's entitled for the money that she sold the car for.
Because the car should be mine, because I should have the right to drive, because I have my license, so it doesn't matter if somebody else gets screwed in my place, because it's about me.
And then she says, well, this is why she sold the car. Me and my husband start going through some tough times, and we have 2 kids.
Then why didn't you use that money to pay off the person that you bought it from?
So what did the husband do during that time? He didn't have a job.
Nice.
She had a job, but he didn't have a job.
Then she shouldn't have been there in the first place.
So the point of the matter is, because he didn't have it, and then they were supposedly homeless. Now I realize, folks, that there's people who get out and they get through some rough times and everything, and they really do have hard times, and you become homeless. That does happen.
The job opportunities, the situations that you're in, and
absolutely,
it's whether
it could happen.
It gets really rough, and it's up to you on whether you want to try to go forward. I mean, you were in that situation.
You could be like my
younger.
brother. Oh yeah, I've been in it before. My brother, he said, I remember coming out of his mouth. That's one of those things I wanted to slap him. He says some gas station wanted to hire him. He wouldn't go to work with them because he said, I'm worth more than that. And it was a start-out wage, but it was making money.
I'm doing grocery delivery. I mean, I've gotten an opportunity recently that I'm not going to talk about yet because it's not official yet.
Yeah.
But it's going to be paying really well. But I was selling my stuff. I was also doing grocery delivery.
But then again, it's entitlement. What makes him think he's... Just because he thinks he's worth that kind of money, that a gas station is not going to pay you that kind of money. But at least it's work to keep you working, to bring in an income.
And keep your home and be able to feed your kids and be able to support yourself.
It's hard to live on some wages. It is. I found out the other day that one of the restaurants I love going to, it's a very good restaurant, but I found out the gals only make $4 an hour.
Because that's the excuse.
Which I think, you rotten government of United States, the fact that you make them declare tips. I give tips because I want to give tips, not because that should be part of the person's wage.
Yep.
If she makes $22 an hour, so what? What does it have to do with our government? I think our government are crooks when it comes to that.
Yep.
That's that could start a whole nother conversation.
And then them charging it too if it's digital, that's dumb.
Yes.
I mean, even if it's money too, you still have to write it out.
That's, to me, you're crooks. I'm sorry. I'm saying it to you. You hear that right from me. You are crooks. So anyway, but back to the, even in a wage, saying to somebody you think you deserve to have a certain amount of money, you deserve what people think you're worth. You
signed up for the job. If you want more, you would talk to the employer. You don't literally try to start a revolution unless everybody's getting screwed. Then you can get it, get the situation handled. But that's if, for example, like what you just talked about, minimum wage is $8 for Ohio.
More than that now, isn't it?
And it's like $8.40 something or something like that.
$8.75.
But point still being, something like that would definitely be a situation you'd want to fight them over, right?
Those are starter jobs, though, and that's the other thing. Someplace like...
Well, I'm saying the $4.
Yeah.
That's something you should fight over.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if you're if you go on for a minimum wage job, you know what you're signing up for. If you don't have the opportunities or the education and stuff like that,
Correct.
I know it sucks. I know it does.
It does.
I didn't go to a bigger college. I could have probably, and I probably could have gotten the scholarships, but I didn't do it because I wanted to be able to pay for my own college. I didn't want you guys to have to do it.
Great.
And I did. I paid for my college. I went to it myself, and I did that, right? I worked for it, and I worked for most of the stuff that's in this room. I mean, you helped me out with like the computer and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. But you did that because you wanted to be supportive. Yeah, but I worked for a lot of this. I did engineering. I did GameStop. I did grocery delivery. And it's like I'm still trying to support myself. I don't like taking a lot of stuff from you when it comes to that. You already helped me out by living and stuff. So I don't know. But I will say I've had the opportunities to be able to get to where I am, right? And there's people that don't. But for the people that want to just be lazy and feel like they're entitled to get all this stuff, how much effort do you put in on a daily basis? Because I'm generally, even though I do slack off sometimes and take some time for myself, I will stay up till 7 in the morning working.
It drives me crazy. I'm always I am giving him a hard time all the time because, I don't want to see him get sick.
I stay up till 8 in the morning, sometimes working on videos, and then I'll have videos playing on how to learn more things and try to understand programs and trying to work and figure out new things. And I know I don't always put it in the best direction, and sometimes my friends like Ethan and Red will like kind of smack me and be like, you need to put your focus over here, and sometimes you'll do that too when it's more life-oriented, because for the channel, you let me do my own thing. But for life stuff, you're like, hey, maybe you should look in this. And then, and I know my mind goes everywhere, and sometimes I get spastic and do everything, right?
Sure.
But the effort, right? The effort is the key factor, where you want to go. And, like, I don't have a lot of time to do stuff, right? And I try to force everything out because I want videos done and I want stuff. And I know I don't have, like, a ongoing schedule right now because everything's kind of hectic right now and everything's kind of up in the air. But, like, I'll still work out. I'm not on a regular basis, but I still work out, try to take care of myself.
Sure you do.
I can't always eat the best stuff because I don't have the money to always do that. But, I'll treat myself stuff on and off.
And I'm starving him.
Yeah, totally, because you don't bring me food and stuff like that. Never.
Never.
But the effort, the drive, the passion, the acceptance of people and trying to get people around you that are good for you and stop letting yourself go, that's I think the key. And the discipline to be able to do it. I mean, letting yourself go on and off is okay, because you need time, right? And sometimes letting yourself just have an entire break is fine too. But having that desire to go further with yourself is very important.
And it's really easy for me to do things for you, to buy you things for the podcast or for the live streaming and stuff, because I know you don't think you deserve it, or you don't think that
I'm more just praying for it.
Yeah, you don't feel like you're entitled to it.
No,
you've never
I'm
ever
just
done it.
Hoping
you always
immensely.
feel like you're hoping, and then it drives you crazy sometimes when I do it.
Yeah, because then I'm like, why the frick did you get this? Because I don't even need this, and you're like, oh, just because I want to, and you could use it for this, and I'm like, you're not wrong, but like.
Yeah, it's like, but that's the thing.
For example, the GoPro that we're literally recording with right now, I'm like, I didn't need the camera because we could have just used the webcam. He's like, oh, but it's going to be fancy and has stabilization and blah, blah, blah. And he got it as a birthday gift. And I'm like, I didn't even need this, but okay.
But it works. It works good.
Yeah. Well, once you figure out the settings, because I'm stupid and I didn't look into it.
And go back again with the kids. I'm bringing it back to that, because we should be getting close to the end. We might be running out.
Yeah, we need to finish quick.
When kids say that, like their games and like their video systems that the parents get them and everything, and they say, well, that's mine. I should have the right to play it. You can't take that away from me, and you don't deserve none of that. Like, the parents give that to you as gifts and give that to you, for you to. But usually what parents thought is if they do good in school, if they mind themselves, they take care of their choice and every choice.
They understand what that game actually is in a real life sense.
And you work for it that way. And then we don't feel bad. We know that you actually put effort to get something, or that we feel like you deserve it. But to just say, oh, you should buy this for me because I'm your kid, that's entitlement. That kind of crap just drives me crazy.
I will say one thing that I think needs a little bit more discussed on that, not like between us, but like
phones.
With parents and kids and stuff on that whole situation is having an understanding of why they're doing what they're doing. Like the parents, I understand like from a parent perspective, right? I mean, I'm not one, but like I see it now, right? I get it a lot more now than what I did when I was younger.
Sure.
But why they do certain actions and why they do certain things. But I think parents nowadays need to explain why they're doing things instead of just getting pissed off and taking it out on them and yelling and getting all frustrated. I understand you're going through a lot of work, and I understand that you're trying to support the family and there's a lot of stress built on you, right? But if you're taking that out all on your kid and you're not explaining why you're doing stuff, they're going to think that you just hate them and that, you know, that you're against them and stuff. And when you really want to see...
Probably had a lot to do with my generation, to be honest with you. Because we thought that, honestly, we thought the kids should understand that. I mean,
it's not how that works.
You shouldn't take it for granted. And we but yeah, and you grow up and you learn, even as... Trust me, parenthood is not easy.
You never stop learning. Yeah.
Parenthood is not easy. You don't grow up knowing what to do, how to raise kids and stuff. You work through it. Mm-hmm. That's why most parents, when they first have their kid, they say to oh my God, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. You don't.
That's
all a learning curve.
As long as you don't stop trying.
Exactly.
Just like what we were saying earlier. But anyways, all right. I think we discussed it pretty well. If you guys have more questions for us, let us know, please, because we always do want to answer more. We can talk about it on the next podcast. We will be answering some of your comments on the next one and start talking about some of those topics and stuff, too, because we still have to get to some of the ones from the first podcast.
And you could give me a hard time about everything I said, because I know it rubbed some of you wrong. But you know what? Like I said,
he's a different generation, plus the fact, too, that there's a lot of differences, but that's kind of the point, because it's from both sides. It's from different perspectives and age groups and generational situations. And
I don't mind. I got wide shoulders. I'll take all the slamming you want to do.
I'm not worried about you being upset about it. I can already feel it. But no, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But you guys let us know what you think. Final comments.
Final comment. Just in life, everything is hard. And my final comment, to be honest with you, I don't even feel like that. A lot of the stuff that I've gotten in my life, very, very fortunate to have gotten. And I feel very privileged and honored to have gotten those things. But do I think I deserve it? Probably not. Honestly, I don't. I don't feel like anything I've gotten. I don't even feel like some of the positions I'm in that I've had a chance to be in, I haven't deserved it. So I definitely do not feel entitled at all. I work hard for everything I do. And I think as a person, if you do that, you're going to feel a whole lot better about yourself. Yep. And that's why a lot of people do not like themselves. You won't
be so sad and depressed and stuff if you stop expecting. It's because that was a lot of my problem, too, is I was expecting a lot out of people. But once you start letting go and just doing what you want to do and accepting the way things are, you do a lot better. You get a lot more opportunities to show up. So, but
agreed.
All right. You remember the outro?
No, of course not.
Thank you guys all for watching.
Thank you guys for watching.
We hope you enjoyed. If
you did,
make sure you leave a like. Follow. Sub. Check out all those links down below in the description, because we got a lot of them.
I'm going to write this out.
I'm
going to put it right down on the floor.
Like on your phone or something like that. We got Facebook, Twitter, Insta. We got Twitch, DLive, YouTube, whatever you're watching on. And if you guys want to donate, we got them. Just saying. Anyways, but aside from that, we hope you guys all have a wonderful night, evening, morning, afternoon. Stay positive, stay creative, and peace off.
Thank you.